The three strike mindset. This is for people who don't really know when to quit when, say, a girl isn't being responsive. Thinking, oh, if I keep on messaging her, I'm that needy guy. Or how long should I space my messages between her if she doesn't reply, etc., etc. Okay, so why should you have a three-strike mindset? Well, it frees you up to pursue other talent, other girls. And anything beyond that tends to be needy. So, three strikes meaning if by the end of the third message she doesn't reply, then you should really move on. Now, you have to know that you cannot control what people think and how they judge. So your first message could be beautifully worded, could be poetic, could be romantic, could be intriguing. Now, if she's had a bad day and she reads it the wrong way, then she's just not going to reply. And you have no control over that. Also, your message could be quite generic, as in she's received many of these kinds of messages before. So that's half down to you whether you should step up your game and be more inventive, be more creative, or you stick to your plan. That's a video for another time. In the end, you did what you had to do, and that's what's important. And if they end up regretting not replying, then that's their decision. So the first message would be something, let's say generic, like, hi, how's it going? Whereabouts in the locale do you live? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? That kind of thing. Okay, that's cool. I tend to I tend to stay away from things like what your profession is and what kind of food you like. As well as, it's good advice, try not to ask too many questions, but rather make a question into the form of a sentence. For example, from your pictures, I guess you're quite adventurous, rather than saying, are you adventurous? ? That just came off the top of my head. So it depends on your investment level, on how much you're willing to invest and how much you have invested in the first place. Like, say, for example, you have interacted with her before in real life as well as online. You think there's a vibe. Cool. So then invariably you may get a period where she just doesn't message you. Now, girls are busy sometimes. That's just a fact. And when they're busy, they don't reply. Also, I've met several girls where they'll look at your message, think that they've replied, but actually haven't. And then you're left wondering, why hasn't she replied? So there are girls out there like that as well. Some girls, yes, they will think you're hitting on them. But again, going back to what I said previously, you can't control what another person thinks or how they're going to judge what you're going to write. Just know deep down your intent and you'll be fine. Now, say you've never met this person in real life. Say going on to online dating, like messaging services and things like that. You're going to message one time. It may be quite generic. Why? Because you can't really think up too many things which are individualistic to each girl, unless she has a smashing profile where you can feed off certain things. If her profile has nothing in each of the sections, such as description, interests, even location, then you got to go in there with a wing and a prayer. And if she doesn't reply, then she's probably not suitable for you. I mean, the thing that probably attracted you to her in the first place was her profile picture, because men are very visual. So there's that. So if she does reply, and then you reply back, how long should you wait? Well, there is no strict and fast rule, but think of fast, fast, slow. If you send a message initially and she replies back, that's fast, fast. So the third message, the one you're going to send back, should be slow. Give it a while. Let it soak. Give her time to miss you. Give her time to think, oh, is he a player? Etc., etc. Is he busy? All men should be busy. Why do I say that? If the reply to her message is too fast, then it's kind of clear that the guy has a lot of free time on his hand and will be at her beck and call, which is not attractive. This is how I perceive replying quickly to a message. If you wait, then you have that period where she has to think, oh, is he going to reply? That way, you are already in her mind. Okay, so moving on to 2 messages without reply. So the second message should be a bit more involved. You want to create a little bit more intrigue. You want to maybe ask a few more questions, but nothing too over the top. If you think that she's just fronting, then you need to turn the dials up a little bit. I'll leave that up to you on how to do that. Now, third and final message, the third strike. If you really feel that it would be a good investment, then this is what I call your Hail Mary, where you put everything on the line, you tell her what's up, even to the point where you tell her you're attracted and you would like to get with her. That's how front you have to go. If you do it honestly and expressively, then there's nothing to lose. And she knows that as well. Then that's up to her to reply. Why do you go out with a Hail Mary? Is so that you can also forget her if she doesn't reply. And you yourself can move on. If you do the same kind of if you do the same kind of messages, 3 messages in a row, you're going to still be thinking about the girl. This 3-strike mentality or mindset is for you to free up your mind and not focus on any one girl. So in the Hail Mary, you want to structure it in such a way where you're expressing a certain desire, you're expressing a certain purpose, and you're semi-giving an ultimatum. This is if she hasn't replied at all to the first 2 messages. And if she doesn't reply to your Hail Mary, it was a Hail Mary. So you can move on. Girls have their reasons for not replying. Online, a lot is to do with your profile. That's just fact. And that's unfortunate because communication, again, with words is not even 10%. And with pictures, again, it's not even. More communication is done through body language and tone and presence. And that is done face to face in real life. And if she's not going to give you that opportunity, then so be it. And 99% of the time, their reasons for not replying has nothing to do with you. That's just a fact. There are a multitude of reasons why she's not replying. She's on holiday. She already has a guy. She's working on another guy. She's unsure. She's consulting her girlfriends whether this guy is a pervert or is cool for her. She's deciding within her social circle whether this guy will be accepted within her social circle. There's so many reasons, okay? Some of them to guys would appear illogical, but that's what a girl has to go through in order to decide. Now, for the 1% where it has to do with you, then that's her deciding that you two aren't suitable. And that's fine, because you are not going to be a match for every single girl in the world. That's just fact. And for that 1%, which made a decision that you weren't the one, that's pretty cool, because she made a decision. So, who cares? And if she didn't reply, again, who cares? It's part of the game. I just want to say that for anyone out there thinking, when should I stop messaging a girl who hasn't replied to me? Consider your investment. Consider if you have met her before. If you haven't met her and she's never replied to you, then consider a Hail Mary. It's your boy Salting, and I hope these words of advice come into play in your life. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.